The sound of the judge's gavel in a Calgary courtroom wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the silence that followed when my ex-husband and my former business partner smiled at each other. At 45, I didn't just lose my boutique hotel chain in Banff. I lost my name, my bank account, and, according to them, my expiration date. "You're too old to start over, Elena," he whispered in the hallway. "Just accept the loss and disappear." 5 years earlier, I had been the face of female entrepreneurship in Alberta. I built the Northern Soul empire from the ground up. I slept for hours a night, knew every supplier from Jasper to Edmonton. I had the life everyone on Instagram envied, a supportive husband, a home overlooking the Rocky Mountains, and the certainty that the top was where I belonged. The betrayal didn't come from a stranger. It came from within. A quiet legal maneuver, documents signed in moments of blind trust, and suddenly the company that carried my DNA was no longer mine. The divorce was just the final nail in the coffin. In 6 months, the businesswoman of the year was living in a roadside motel in Red Deer, with 2 suitcases and a car that struggled to start every morning. January in Canada shows no mercy to people with nowhere to go. I was sitting in a laundromat, counting coins to dry my only winter coat, when I noticed a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 7, perched on top of a washing machine, trying to read a cookbook while her mother worked in the back folding sheets. The girl had a hearing aid that looked broken, patched together with tape. She looked at me, and for a second I saw my own reflection in that vulnerability. I wasn't the only one the world had decided to ignore. I had $10. It was supposed to be my dinner. But when I looked at the tape holding that child's hearing aid together, something inside me, something I thought had died, woke up. I couldn't save my company, but I knew how to fix things. I spent the night helping her mother, an immigrant who barely spoke English, reorganize the laundromat's workflow so she could earn commissions, not just a basic wage. There was no miracle. There was sweat. I started out washing dishes at a small local cafe, hiding my face so no former acquaintances would recognize me. But a management instinct doesn't just disappear. In 3 months, I suggested a new inventory system. In 6, I was managing the place. I woke up at 4 in the morning just to feel the Alberta frost on my face and remind myself that I was still alive. To open my own little cafe, I sold the only thing I had left, my grandmother's engagement ring. It hurt more than losing the company. But when I opened the second act on a modest street in Edmonton, I wasn't the high-heeled executive anymore. I was the woman who knew every customer's name, and the struggles they carried with them. 3 years later, my ex-husband tried to buy my new business. He wanted to expand his franchise and had no idea that the owner of the highest-rated cafe in the province was the same woman he had called too old. I served him his coffee myself. He didn't recognize me right away, the luxury had left my face, but strength had moved into my eyes. When he finally realized who I was, the coffee had gone cold in his hands. Starting over at 45 isn't about getting back what you lost. It's about discovering that what you lost was never what defined you in the first place. At 45, I'm not too old for anything. In fact, for the first time, I'm finally young enough to be who I truly am.